Because it is really the like realistic parts of social media is what we're covering.
Are you guys on social media at all? Theinternet.com, social media?
Sometimes I wish I wasn't.
Honestly, same.
Honestly,
Same. I said it,
Holy
but same. Honestly, same.
I agree with myself.
I made a really good point.
Because honestly, same.
Honestly,
Good
same.
point, Leah.
Damn, Leah. Yeah.
You
You
start
go,
talking to
girl.
two different parts of the mic.
Self high five.
Honestly, same.
Ooh, honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly,
Honestly,
same.
same. Honestly,
Honestly,
same.
same. Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Welcome to the episode. We are talking about social media and all things to do with it. Well, not all things to do with it. We only have a very specific amount of time. laid out for this
Most
episode.
things. Enough things
4
that
or
we
5
can
things to do
cram
with it.
into this.
I'm Leah.
I am Brittany.
And I am Ross.
Welcome to Honestly Same, the flagship podcast for same relatable
Sameness.
things.
Yes.
That is it.
Cool. We did trademark that
TM.
phrase. Yes. That is ours.
We're going to
And,
put it on a shirt. Go
yes.
buy it.
And
Please.
it'll be all over the front. It'll be great. And
I love
it'll
it.
be $75.
But it's
Only
fine 'cause
available
you can
on our
wear it on your
Patreon.
social media.
And that, oh, you could. You know what? If they did buy our merch, if we ever hypothetically make merch, they could purchase it and post it on their social media. They could.
With a hashtag that says honestly same. Do we use hashtags anymore? Does anybody
think
use
sometimes.
hashtags anymore?
Sometimes people do. Sometimes I'll care and I'll try because like I'll read an article
Do
that's
we?
like,
Yeah. Do
hey,
we
they
want to talk
matter.
about it?
Hey, you
like-
guys want to talk about social media?
No, genuinely, like the hashtags. I think personally, I don't use them because I feel like they're cringy when I look at them.
Yeah.
But I
I-
see how far they go.
Yeah. Well, so I have seen people actually hide them in the comments. So what they'll do
Yeah.
is they will comment on their own post and they will put like, I don't know, they'll write a word and then they'll just like hit return a jillion times. And then they'll just like hide their...
Yeah, see the
They're
trick.
hashtags.
The trick that I learned that I saw a bunch of people doing is like you put the dots after your caption.
And then put it in
yeah.
your
'Cause
That's
then-
what I usually see. And I don't
Yeah.
know. It for me, even though I guess it just depends on why you're posting because it just makes the post feel inauthentic if it's something normal like a family photo or something. But if it's like your business and you're doing something and you need to get your name out there,
Oh, yeah.
I understand
That's
the hashtags.
That's when I use them
Yes.
because I also feel like they go back and forth. Like one month it'll be like hashtags are dead.
because
and the
you
next month
do
it'll
need
be
people,
like, no, you
yeah,
have
to search
Well,
those
But I also
things that
don't
they're interested
the
get
in.
into
algorithm
it.
is changing just constantly. But I feel like on my hair page, like I'll be like hashtag balayage, hashtag blonding, hashtag, you know, like that kind of crap. But on my personal page, I feel like I used to. Like it was like girls with tattoos and like
Yes.
that kind of thing. Now I'm like, oh, I used to do that.
Oh, and I did, and I for sure did it, and that is why I have the like it's personal because then I was like
Yeah, no offense
Why
to you guys.
am I
Offense
doing
to
it?
me for
Full
being
offense to
that way,
myself.
Yeah.
full offense to myself.
Because I was definitely doing it in a way where I was like, please give me attention.
yeah, no, that makes
Please
sense.
Oh, yeah.
someone
That makes
see
sense.
this and
Which is
give me
okay.
attention.
and fine, but it for me it's when I'm thinking about like it's a literal selfie, just and I'm like I just want anyone to see this
Yeah.
of me, which
Black
is
hair, girls with black hair, girls with long black hair, girls with long black hair and tattoos.
yes.
Girls with tattoos and piercings.
Please don't miss it.
Please give me
Girls
attention.
with black hair, tattoos, and podcasts. Perfect.
Too specific. The one person that's just dying for that combination.
Like, yeah, and there's 5 posts in that hashtag, and they're like, yes.
They're like, all right, get out the lotion.
Hell yeah. So in effort to not make it, because guys, I promise this isn't going to be a hey, how do we follow social media trends episode. This isn't like 5 key tips to making your social and hashtags
Because we
cool.
don't know.
yeah,
'Cause we
don't ask
know
us.
those. I think let's start at like what our introduction to even because we have like people our age have that very interesting time gap or time
Yes.
frame of being introduced to not only the internet being really, really active, but more so just social media. Obviously, the internet's been around for a while, but social media really became a thing as we were growing up.
That's
so
very
we have
true.
this like very strange, at least I look at it from a standpoint of I feel like I have grown to have a strange relationship with social media. And I think
100%.
a lot of people our age are feeling that same way. We're like, at first it was like this new, bright, shiny things. Oh my God, I have all these friends. I got my top 8. I got all these hashtags. I got all this stuff. And then now a lot of people, including myself, are like, dude, this just like, and we can get to this later, but like, it's like, this just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it does, and it's fun, but like it just doesn't. So like
It
I don't know,
lost
let's-
its lackluster at some point, and like where?
yes.
Yes.
And now it's just like a thing we do rather than like a fun. Oh God.
Also, I meant to say just luster, not lackluster. Just clearing that up now. Anyone listening? Go ahead, Ross.
Somebody's sitting there with a journal writing down all
This
of our
stupid
mishaps.
fucking idiot.
5
All of
minutes
our
in,
grammar mishaps.
Brittany said this incorrect. But I think it'd be fun to like dive into even kind of like our original relationships with social media, because like for me, for example, I kind of was late to the game when it came to like MySpace. So like
Okay.
I joined MySpace as it was ending, and like
But that is
Facebook
very
was,
late.
Yes. And
Okay.
like and not like ending like when it got really weird, but like when Facebook was like mainly becoming the
Present,
thing.
yeah.
And then friends of mine were like, "Do you have a Facebook yet?" And I'm like, "I don't know what that is."
I just made a
But I'm on MySpace.
But I
Check
have
out
a
my
MySpace.
song.
Put me in your top 8.
And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, MySpace like isn't the cool thing anymore. You got to have this Facebook."
Yes.
And like I made a Twitter, I think like before anybody was actually on. I will be honest and say
Yeah.
that like when Twitter very first popped up, I was on it.
I definitely had a Twitter and didn't know what it was or how to use it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't forget my login, but I think my first brush with social media, because I don't know if this counts, was Neopets.
Yes,
It was literally
absolutely.
like you got
Like
on
they had a
this.
social media for that?
I mean, it was kind of like a social media because there were message boards and nobody was on there actually talking about Neopets. It was like people
you
would
were
be on
literally
there.
making friends.
Yeah, it was like message boards and stuff like that.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
kind of like AOL chat rooms a little bit, which AOL in itself was such a big thing.
Yeah.
Like growing up and having that.
Oh, the noise. Wow, I should put that noise at the beginning of this episode.
Or you could do
Yeah.
it right now so it sounds like I'm doing it really well. But I feel like, yeah, that was kind of my first brush with it. And I feel like my cousins and my sister were really into like AIM, and I like just was like, let me do the cool thing that everyone else is doing. So getting MySpace was like game changer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to say that was what, middle school that we got MySpace?
yeah, I
I'm
wanna
older than you
say-
guys by a couple years, but I want to say it was my
I
it
think
my
I was
middle
in
school years.
6th grade. So you were probably in
Okay.
8th grade.
Yeah, I feel like that's when we started really like paying attention to each other on the internet. But AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, was the thing before social media. I mean, I would get off the bus and I would like go straight to my computer and I'd be like, let's talk to everyone.
I did have that.
Yes.
That might have been my very first introduction to, because you could put like little statuses of
Yeah.
like things and
BR.
Whether you were available or not.
BBL, which means something totally different now.
And what does it stand for?
Big booty lift or something. It's some kind of plastic
Brazilian
surgery.
booty lift,
It's
but it
Brazilian
doesn't
booty
give
lift.
you a big booty.
Guys,
It-
if you're
it
watching this
makes your
episode
booty
live,
look-
hashtag GBL for this episode.
Great.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That's how I would talk to like girls I had crushes on, and then when
Yeah.
they'd be away, I'm like,
And then-
but where are they?
where did they go? And then you'd get to school and you'd be like, don't look at me.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't make
Please
eye
do not
contact.
perceive
Let's
me."
pretend we've never
We sent a
communicated
lot of
over
smiley
work.
faces last night, and I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
Love
fair.
it.
Okay, so what was your Brittany? Like
Mine
your
was
introduction?
I would only see AIM at my friend's house. Like
Okay.
I didn't get a computer. My mom didn't get a computer for the house until I think I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
And then I made a MySpace. And that was my first, was just everyone was on MySpace. It was when MySpace was really hot. So this was like,
The hot commodity.
yes.
Of
That's
MySpace.
But it was like, I won't say it was like healthy to be on MySpace at the time, but no one knew like the risks, obviously, that we'll get into of like how much time was consumed. I would wake up before I would be getting ready for school to get on MySpace at like 5 a.m. No one was on
Yeah.
there. No, or they were. But
like-
like, I just needed to be on there. it was such a
your-
new world.
Your like little like 6th grade brain was just like, ping, okay, I'm awake. Like, let's
Yep.
fill out some surveys.
I have got to do a
Right.
bulletin board with
Yes.
all of the questions, all of the
Ooh,
surveys, and
yeah.
let everyone know my every waking thought and what I had for dinner right now at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Absolutely.
So like when Facebook started becoming a thing, and that's obviously what statuses were. But like I was that person who like any thought I had,
Yep.
I was like, yep, sharing this, yep, sharing that.
This is
yep.
gold. Here it
I'm,
is.
Like super
Yeah.
pissed off. I'm like, you had the worst fucking day ever today.
And now you
like,
look back at like your Facebook memories, you're like, I don't even know what the fuck happened that
well,
day. Like
I
it must
cannot
not have
do
been.
that. Mine do not exist.
Sad moment. Let's all go.
R.I.P. to-
Oh.
R.I.P. to Ross's old Facebook. It got deleted in my
Where's
Instagram.
Ross
Oh,
Tyson?
no. Hey, hashtag where's Ross Tyson? Join the
Hashtag.
Search.
search.
Remember,
Where is he?
remember when it was a pound sign? It was literally like a pound
Yeah,
sign.
now
Yeah,
it's a
and then
hashtag.
just
Now
one
it's a
day,
hashtag.
one day we just started calling it a hashtag.
There are
Yes.
people on this earth that only know that symbol as a hashtag.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking about. Something else we were just talking about in this. I don't know if it was AIM or what it was, but I was like, people that might be listening literally will not know what we're talking about. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it
Yeah.
was now.
But that is like even like the whole reason of us kicking this episode off like this is like, yeah, that
We're
was
old.
a pound sign. Like it
Yeah.
literally was. But what's also interesting is like again, we're that age group that like, oh, we're like, oh no, it's a hashtag. But like
Yeah.
people older than us are like, that's a pound sign.
Yeah, that's
isn't
just
it?
the pound key, baby.
And it's like, no, it's a hashtag now. Like
Yeah.
it's cool. Like it's fine. Like it, but we're like, you know what I mean? We're not like pushing back
We
against
were
anything.
definitely like in the beginning of like social, because okay, even like back when I was a kid, I don't know about you guys, but like we didn't have phones like we have now either, and so like AIM was like our texting.
Yeah, that's your communication.
That
unless
was
you're on
that
your
was your
house phone.
texting
Remember
because
when-
oh yeah, house phones where you had to call and you'd be like, hi, can Sarah get on the phone? You had to like awkwardly talk to their parents. Can
Yeah.
Sarah
And then their
come over
parents
and
were
play?"
listening on the other phone. Anybody ever have that experience?
Oh,
I don't think-
man,
I didn't
I don't
talk to a
know
lot
if
of
I
friends on the
did.
phone.
I definitely talked to boys on the phone.
Yeah,
that,
it was
like I
boys.
was like in relationships with.
Good times.
Yeah, no, see, I never, even like, it would just be like calling to see like, hey, can I come over? Can they come over? And then
That
I was
was
like,
most
all
of
right,
it.
go. And then,
All right, go.
cool, we're done. There we go.
Please leave.
Yeah, and then it was just like, all right, go play, whatever, like that sort of thing. So but
Yeah.
I never had the phase of like, because I also like growing up was like a relative, like, not sheltered, but like I was just like a super introverted like kid. So I wasn't even
Sure.
looking for those opportunities of like, oh my gosh, I need to call my friend and see what they're up to. I was like, oh, if no one talks to me for like 5 years, like, and I can stay at home, play video games, I'm good.
Sounds
Me.
great.
Like, that's fine.
That's where I became. You can call me, but I'm not leaving my house. But you can call me.
Okay, yeah, see, no one. No
I
one
would
called
like
me.
ride my bike down the street and be like, let's see if this person's home. Let's see if this person's home. Their parents were probably like, why are you here?
Damn,
Just
you
Leah
Stranger
knocking,
Things
knock,
did.
knock, 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 knock. Yeah,
Hi.
riding the bike.
Yep,
Damn,
me on
okay.
my
Yeah,
on my bike.
not I like don't feel like I almost like started evolving with social media, like when in my like, oh, now I'm becoming a little more extroverted, now I'm like wanting to hang out with people, like when I
Yeah.
was hitting that age is when social really was becoming a thing. So then I
Yeah.
was like, I need to share every one of my thoughts, I need to comment and write on everyone's wall. Remember
Yeah.
when that was like a thing that mattered
Yeah.
whatsoever, like
Like
outside of
PC
birthdays?
for PC,
Yes, that's what I
bro.
was gonna say. Jesus
Or
Christ.
do you
Oh,
remember?
sorry. Yeah, thanks a lot, Leah. Thanks a lot.
Listen, I'll edit that out. We'll reverse it,
We're
and
gonna,
you
we're
guys
gonna
can say-
put my voice on Brittany. Here, just mouth it at the camera.
Wait, what was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, what
PC
is-
for
oh.
PC.
You got that,
Perfect.
Ross?
Perfect. Yeah. And,
I'm also behind the mic, so literally
and,
to fight the mic.
our listeners will love that part. They will.
No, but what I
absolutely
think
understand.
part of it is too is like the social aspect of social media is like, I mean, how many friends do you guys have on social media that you don't have in real life? Like, have you met somebody on the internet that is like now your friend? I mean, technically, I met you guys both through
Yeah,
social
yeah, yeah,
media
yeah.
because I feel like it was like obviously marketing stuff of like, oh, like Ross is somebody that does cool things that like relate to the cool things that I do, and so that's how I met you. And you and I have been friends on social media before we ever met for like
Yeah.
years. I mean, that aspect of it is like really cool.
It
I
is,
think
for
it
sure.
connects you to people that you may not have ever met. Like,
Well, yeah, it's like that is like the positive side, right? Which obviously we'll dig more into, like the balance of both sides. But like that, I mean, the amount of friendships
Yeah.
that I made from Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, like an astronomical amount, like for sure.
I mean, like,
I don't
almost
there's
all
no
of
proof of
mine,
that
I
though because
feel.
he lost all of his stuff. So
He
thinks-
lost all of his friends.
He's
All
like,
of the
I had
past.
so many followers.
Guys, I had so many followers and so many friends, but they're all gone. Like they took it
just-
away from me.
Yeah, he got
Weird.
hacked.
I got hacked, you guys. But like,
Sounds sus.
yeah, it sounds sus, but sure, whatever you say. But like, I don't even. I probably would have, but like, I don't know if I really would have even like moved to Columbus if it wasn't
Oh,
for that. Because
gosh.
like all the friends that I was making through the music scene at the time,
Yeah.
were all the people that like, it was like the music scene up here in Columbus. So then that's how I was staying in contact with everybody. Or
I never
even,
would have had a band.
yeah, or like connecting with people in general. So then it was like, oh, hey, dude, there's this show happening. Or like, I see that a show is happening this weekend in Columbus. So I'm like, I want to drive to that. I want to go to that. And like, yes, there's probably another roundabout way in another dimension where social media didn't exist that like this same sort of
Flyers.
stuff ended up. Yeah, sure. However, Pilgrims did it back in the day.
You know, when they were like having concerts and
Going to shows and stuff
Headbanging.
like that, yeah. But like I think about that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's clearly like the amount of friendships that I did make and have continued to make over social media. There are people that I haven't met in real life that I have internet like friendships with,
Yeah.
for years and years and years.
and we talk relatively often.
Yes. 100%.
And it's like, and it's still just through social. It's like, so that aspect of social media still is that like, oh, cool. It's super cliche, but it's like, oh, the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's still rad. But at some point in time, just like with everything, money started getting in the way
Yeah.
and marketing
Oh my
started getting in the
gosh.
way. So then it's like, I also think we've been in this weird time frame and journey of like, we saw social when it started. And it was like, oh my God, we're connecting with all these friends. We're
And
updating everybody.
We're doing it at the same time, like the adults of the world at the time are doing it for the first time.
Right. Yeah. For the very first time, you're able to like learn or not learn anything for the first time,
Well-
but like have any information
We're
that you
finally
want.
able to progress
Finally.
as a species.
We can learn.
No, and if you think about it, I don't know about you guys, but like I feel like as a like teenager on the computer, like I could like navigate through it like 10 times quicker than my
Yeah,
parents could
absolutely.
have. And if you look at kids now, like on iPads, they're like, "Let me get to that app, mom," and you're like, "How the hell did you know
They
how
just
to
like
do that?"
know
Like,
somehow. Right?
yeah, but they
Just
don't know how
in their DNA
they don't
now.
know how to skip ads.
Oh no.
They can get to every little thing that they want to watch. They can even figure out how to like find the video they want, but as soon as an ad comes up, they're like,
yeah.
"How I fix this?"
And so like that whole transition is so weird to me because it's like we saw it pop up as this really fun, interesting thing, and it's kind of devolved, in my
Become
opinion,
Everything.
Yeah.
into like, okay,
Too much of anything is not good.
and now it's just this like weird fake sort of thing. But okay, before we get there, I want to talk about like even just our like what did our relationships individually with social media end up becoming? Like we've
Yeah.
talked about the friends thing. I mean, I've got a whole thing about social media if you guys want to hear. But like I would love to hear like kind of what like did we end up like finding like the real benefit of it? Because yes, in the early days, oh my God, we're connecting with friends. We're uploading photo albums of 100 photos of
that are
hanging out.
Of us
exactly
going-
the same.
Yes, of just
It's
hanging
like
out at someone's
slightly
house
different angles of us, like,
and making sure everybody gets tagged in it. Then the next day at school, you're like, did you see that photo? Like, we go
Yeah.
from that where it's just like, this is fun. And then when it starts to become, oh, wait, I can promote on this, or I can share a lot on this, or I'm trying, like, did it, maybe this is a question I want to ask you guys. Did it at some point become an attention grabbing thing for you guys? Did you ever start to
100%.
use it like that?
Mine did when I was like 17 or 18 and I was using hashtags and I did girls with tattoos, and a huge like tattoo Instagram at the time reposted my photo, like screenshotted and reposted it because you couldn't just like repost.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got like 1,000 followers. I had like 200 followers before then. I had like just started my Instagram. So then I had a really big head. And then everything I did was for like attention. You can, I don't have any of the pictures from before just because social media is really hard and I deleted a lot of my stuff.
I have too, and you lost everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But you used to be able to tell, like you could tell when the picture was posted. You could tell when people started caring about my stuff because it looked like people were caring about my stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I got
yeah.
like fake attention from people that I didn't know.
Right.
yeah.
And
but
then everyone was like, "Oh, she's cool." People like people that I do know.
Yeah.
Now, then we're like, "Oh, she must be cool." Obviously, people like her because look at her likes, look at her follows.
Yeah.
And so then everything I did for a long time was for attention, of course.
Yeah. No, I think that a lot of it comes down to like exactly like what you described is like sort of that thing where you're like, oh, like if somebody has like a lot of followers, like people must find them interesting, so they must be interesting.
It gave me a false sense of coolness that it turned me cool eventually, actually, is what ended up happening because I
Yeah,
don't
okay.
know
So it gave you
what
a
would have
positive
happened.
boost.
Yeah, I did. I mean, obviously, it brought on like lots of other things, But like it did make me think that I was cooler than what I was because everyone thought that I was.
Well, like for the first time, we are getting to experience like, oh, 500 people can think I'm cool right now.
Yeah.
At that point in time,
I
had
don't
any
think
of us
I'm famous.
met?
I can't
knew
even
500 people.
name
You know what I mean?
500 people.
Like you just knew the people
No.
in your school and that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, when you're getting like 300 likes on something or whatever it is, you're like, oh my God, this is fucking cool. What can I
Yeah.
do for more of this? Like, that is what I feel like is so interesting about our wave of
Well-
learning social media is like we're experiencing that for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only
And
that,
who
but-
wouldn't want that?
Yeah, I was
Right.
going to say not only that, but also like people that maybe didn't have a boost like that, but were looking at other people and they're like, how do they get that? You know what I mean? So then that's where the deficit comes in of like social media, of like the people that are on the outside of it looking in and going, oh, I wish that I had the kind of attention that, you know, Brittany has, or like that kind of thing where it's like there's always been, I feel like, social media and like that like side of stuff of being able to deliver likes and like when
Yeah.
the like button became a thing, like do you remember
It's just the
that?
validation. It's like just validation straight into your
Yeah.
veins.
And all
Yeah.
it took was one click. One click. But somebody could also scroll past your thing and not click it. And I think that's the thing is like you could like everything as you're like going past it just because you're like, I'm going to support these people. But like imagine seeing something and it has like 400 likes and you're like, yeah, this is great content. I'm going to like this. And then you scroll past something that has like 13 likes and you're just like, yeah, that's there. Like sometimes that number.
Yeah, no, that subconscious weird thing would pop up sometimes.
Yeah. And now I'm
That's
glad.
still me. That I don't do my likes and not likes based on that, but my brain still goes, this is not as important as the thing I
Yeah.
just scrolled past.
It must not be as cool.
Well, and that's why I'm glad that Instagram now has that thing where you can actually hide your number of likes.
Oh, I do that for everything.
I've started doing that now because regardless of if something I do on there does well or does not do well, I don't want anybody to be looking at my stuff and comparing themselves to me in a negative way or in a positive way. Like, I'd hate for somebody to look at my profile and be like, wow, I wish that I could get that. Or I'd hate for somebody to look at my profile and be
Just
like,
know what you're gonna say.
damn, that sucks.
Damn,
Yeah,
she slayed
yeah.
her makeup and she got 12 likes.
Yeah, like your value gets based off of this like fake number of
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and then that makes that person decide something about you
Right.
based off of that, which like is still around for sure.
Oh, gosh,
right
yeah.
now. But like that is like, I mean, I fell into like the exact same trope for a while because like then it, you know, it started once it started being about like, oh wait, I can get attention on like posting something on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
The more that I like delved into the creative world, and then I started realizing, oh wait, if I post pictures like this and use these hashtags, then this community of people will automatically come and like my stuff. Like, do you
Yeah.
guys remember the VSCO cam
Yes.
trend?
Yeah.
Okay, so like that was my thing for a while, right? I would, you know, snap a sunset photo with my iPhone, edit it the exact way that I knew that they liked it, add all the VSCO hashtags, and then go and interact with all of their posts and those sort of things, like play the game. And then I would get it all in return, and I would get a bunch of followers and a bunch of likes, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, like keep sending this to me. And then the same thing happened in the next phase when like I started like actually doing photography and stuff like that, like a mixture of like, all right, I want to do super like trendy portraits of people. And then I also, when I started shooting live photography for a while, I was like, oh my God, I can take pictures of whatever cool band, you know, oh,
Yeah.
cool. Me posting a picture of the 1975 is going to get a ton of likes from not only people that know me and think that they're cool, but then also the 1975's fan base. And so like where I ended up getting stuck at was like on my kind of like creative journey with everything for a while, like I never went fully off the deep end, but for a while I tended to just create more for the attention.
Oh gosh,
I
yeah.
was just trying to follow the trends. I was just trying to get like that sweet nectar of likes flowing in.
Right.
And,
Of
like,
course.
And like I would sit and I would chase that. And like if a picture wouldn't get like 200, 500 likes or whatever, I'm like, fucking sucks. It sucks. Well, this is dumb.
Even if
Why
you're
didn't
like,
they like it?
prior to you posting it, you're like, this is what they're gonna love. This is everything. I worked so hard on this. This is the one.
Yeah, or if I was like, this picture is so sick, but if it didn't get like the interactions
Yeah, now
that
you're
I
like,
felt like it should have, I'm like, why? Like, why did that?
So-
And then like, I would look at other photographers doing that,
Well,
and
and
they would
here's-
have a huge following. And I'm
Here's
like,
a
what
question
the fuck?
for you, because I feel like this is something that I've heard of other people doing, and I don't think I ever did it other than maybe like one time. Did you ever post something, thought it would do really well, and it didn't do well within like a certain time frame, and so you either deleted it completely or deleted it and then re-uploaded it?
Yes.
Because I think I've done that like once or twice when it came to like band related things, but I didn't realize that some people actually do it like very often.
Oh no, I would just delete if it didn't do well, not just like.
Yeah.
Like- But I maybe did that like 2 or 3 times.
I think I'm probably falling that same boat. Like I probably did that like 2 or 3 times, but I wouldn't really.
I've definitely deleted stuff before where I was like, oh, that might not be what I want to put into the world or something. Like if I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
like this didn't take off the way that I wanted it to. Like, I don't know, one of those things where you're just kind of like, oh, should I be embarrassed that I thought this was a good idea even? Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, 100%. Like I thought this was cool, and oh wait, is it that cool? Like then you second guess it, and you're
Yeah.
like, wait, does Brittany think it's cool? Like I don't know, she didn't like comment something, but
Yeah,
does
nobody
Leah think
said
it's cool 'cause she
anything,
didn't
and nobody's
like-
paying attention to it.
So,
like,
so then you're like, even though you thought it was cool or you liked it, then you're second guessing that because
Yeah.
1,000 people didn't think it was
Especially
cool.
when, like,
100%.
if I were to post anything that wasn't my face or if I wasn't in it, no one would care. Didn't matter what it was. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to take intentional photos of things that I love and I want them to get the same attention that I'm used to getting now.
Yeah.
But people only care if it's me. It's not about like the life that I'm living. It's just
There are a good number of posts on especially my Instagram profile where like I actually wrote something that I wanted people to pay attention to in like the caption, or in the carousel I put other photos that I wanted people to pay attention to, but the very first thing that I put on there is my face
The
because
attention
that's the
grabber.
thing where I'm
Yeah.
like, people are going to stop and look at my face because that's the thing that I post the most of, and that's the thing that people are paying attention to, and then maybe hopefully they'll actually read the thing that I want them to
Yeah.
read and see the rest of the photos in that carousel that I want them to see.
Yeah. Well, see, like my other thing for a handful of years too, like I feel like I did 2 things. One was I wanted creative attention. So like I wanted like to follow all the trends and people to be like, he's so fucking cool. We got to, and it worked for a while. Like at one point in time, I think I built up to like 13,000 followers or something.
Not that
You know what I
anyone's
mean?
counting.
Like, well, you can't anymore. It doesn't matter. Like,
Where's
they're
your proof?
They're gone.
Yeah, Russ had 13,000 followers.
Like that's like an actually impressive note. I should.
No,
honestly,
that is impressive. I have
yeah,
like
you should lie.
I have
no
like
one-
It's
less
fun.
than
Good.
3.
No one can go look. So at one, I'll edit all that out
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
start
yeah.
here. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I built up to 3 million followers.
NBD.
And
NBD.
I mean, we can't check now. It's gone.
Yeah, it's all gone.
But it was 3 million. No, but like I did get like a good following on like Twitter
Yeah.
and Instagram and all this sort of stuff because I was just like, any trend that was happening, I was like, I want to do that. I need to do that. I have to do that. Blah blah blah. Attention
Yeah.
grab. And the other thing that I was doing was, and I get like a lot of people do this now. They're called thirst traps. But I was so concerned with whether girls thought I was attractive.
Yeah,
So like whenever
100%.
I would post a picture of me, like it was strictly just to like try and get the attention of some girl that I like had a crush on.
Yeah.
But then like if she liked it, I was like, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
And it's like
And
that
then- yeah.
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like, but also like now I look back on that and I'm like, and I get like that's just a part of social media. Like of course if you're posting a picture of yourself, whether you're leading with the intention or not, you want a little bit of attention.
That is the
Yeah,
only
that's
reason
it.
to
That's
post
it,
a picture
right?
of yourself. Name
Like-
one other reason to post a
Oh,
picture
no,
of
yeah,
yourself.
100%.
I don't know if you're like having fun by like
Attention's
a
not a bad
cliff,
thing.
rock cliff or something, and you're like, look at this rock cliff, and I'm here.
This
you know?
rock cliff. I like that you're just calling it a rock
I like
cliff.
that Ross is like,
other
if there's
kinds of
nature
cliffs.
in the photo,
It's just
then it's balancing out what's happening here.
Oh no, I definitely feel like it's like a dopamine thing where it's like, oh, like you post it and then you've got these people that are like, oh, look how pretty your makeup is. Like I posted a makeup selfie the other day strictly because I did my makeup and was like, someone
should
needs
see it.
to see this.
Absolutely, and they should, and that is great.
And see,
Right.
and that I think is like the healthy way. I'll speak for me, like the healthy way that I feel like I look at that stuff now. Like, yeah, if I post a picture of me, I want someone to be like, hey, he's like pretty attractive. Like I want that.
Yeah.
But I'm also doing it more so to like make me feel good about like, no, I do think I look good in this.
Yeah.
And people should see this.
So I want to share it just like you. Like
Yeah,
I
like,
did do well with
spent
my
a lot
makeup.
of time on this.
So it's like, no, I want to share this because I do want to share a version of me where in the past it was
Specifically,
for
like-
the validation.
Yeah.
It was, I don't think I'm good enough. I need affirmation online
Yes.
to make me feel like I am.
yeah.
I think that that's also another thing that comes down to like if you're I feel like there are certain times you can tell like when people are doing well mentally or not because of
Yeah.
how much
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
posting for validation.
Right.
Like I think that you can kind of tell the difference between somebody posting because they're looking for validation or because they are like proud of something that they
You
did.
can see on my social media anyway.
Oh,
like,
mine too.
the change from like, I think, I posted a lot of pictures of Winry when she was a baby because I was infatuated with her. I'm infatuated with both my kids, but I stopped caring about what I was posting like when I got pregnant because I wasn't going to get the same attention that I was getting before that.
Oh, okay.
But you can see on my I'm pretty much, if I'm talking about social media, I'm talking about my Instagram. I have a Twitter, but I don't really use it.
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook is for old people. I have it because I have old people in my life, literally. But as far as my Instagram goes, you can see exactly where I stopped posting like my every waking thought and move. And I don't think it's bad to do that if that's what you do. And there's so many people that I follow and I love to see how else am I going to know what's going on in your life with how fast life is moving for everyone. But that's also when I started like really, really enjoying life. I had lots of fun. I mean, I was taking trips so I could have cool pictures to post and I was doing, you know, whatever, like that life was fun, but it was also super unhealthy. And now I can just like wake up and live whatever day that I need to have and not care. Like,
I used to
I don't
have
think
to,
that my absence, like I'm missed.
No,
if I'm not on
I
it
get
like I
that.
did.
I used to have this like pressure that I put on myself where I was like, you can't post more than one time a day. And now I'm like lucky if I post like once a week because I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't know what I even want to put out into the world right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that like, I don't know if there's like, I'm sure that if I went back and checked, there probably is a visible difference where you can tell like, oh, this is like back when I was posting constantly and consistently, like the type of things that warranted like the attention that I wanted. And now it's like at one point I can honestly say I was probably like filter addicted where I was like,
Oh, I
I love
probably
this
still am.
filter and how I look with this filter and I want everything that I'm seeing, you know, with my face, like to have this filter on it because I thought it made me look so much better. And I like got to a point where I was like, I don't ever want to be the person where if you meet me in real life, you're like, is that the same person?
You look
Like, is that-
identical. You look so much the same. It's
Well,
sickening.
so do you. I mean, I think we all do. And I think that comes with age as well.
Yeah.
But like, I think when I was younger, it was just everybody was using these filters and people are still doing that, obviously. Like it's not like there aren't people out there like editing themselves to make themselves feel better about how they look and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think filters can be fun, but I like had an unhealthy, almost like need where I was like, I need to put this filter on me so that I can feel comfortable posting myself. And I think I was talking about it with somebody recently. If you use filters, I think that Instagram and definitely TikTok, they push those photos more because you're using their like
Yeah.
features. And so
Right.
those get more attention for that reason alone. And so more people see it, you get more attention when you use them. And then it also just like pushes that thing on you where you're like, oh, people like me better when I'm like this.
Yeah, and that like so that whole thing of like the whole like algorithm and all that sort of stuff like is another big thing that I want us to touch on is like I feel like when that started becoming more of a prominent thing, instead of me being like, all right, I got to work harder for the trends. I got to follow these new trends. I got to follow these new waves of doing things. And I need to post the reels. I need to make a TikTok. I need to blah, blah, blah. I think when that started becoming insane, because in the last handful of years, it's just
like-
taken over.
It
Like,
just feels like the criteria to have social media feels like an influencer life.
yes, that's like
Like
all
you
that
can't
lands
just
in.
be a normal person.
Like,
And
so-
has
it's
it.
weird.
And like as that was rising is when I officially was like, I don't fucking care about this anymore.
Yeah.
Like it stopped being fun, which is like good because yeah, I shouldn't keep sharing things just for trends and all that sort of stuff, at least for me.
Yeah.
But like, you know, now it's like I can sit and I can be like, yeah, if I'm going to post a cool project or something that I made that I am interested in or think is cool or I want other people to check out,
Yeah.
I'm just going to share it. I'm going to share it. Of course, that's what social media is for. I want someone to think it's cool, but
But you're
I'm
not going to be heartbroken
Nope.
if it's like, oh, I didn't get as much attention from this as I
because
wanted.
I already think it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sharing it because I already think it's fucking dope. I already
Yeah.
think it looks cool. So I don't care if there's not 1,000 people anymore
Yeah.
being like, we fucking love this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, sure, that would be fun for anybody. And of being like, oh, they love me. They really love me. But
Yeah.
like, I definitely am just like, man, like, I don't care enough. And like, this is where I think it all went for me, is like, having went on this whole roller coaster ride of social media and the growth and the changes and all this sort of stuff, I feel like I almost went full circle to where now I feel like I have like a comfortable relationship with social, where I'm like, everything I was just saying, if I think it's cool, I'm going to share it. If I want to share a thought, like, you know, I've a couple years ago just started leaning into like, you know what? There might be 5 people that read these 19 paragraph captions that I'm giving, sharing all of my thoughts. But guess what?
I'm going to do it
I want to
anyway.
do it, and it's my social media, and I can do it. And whoever it connects with is the person it was supposed to connect with.
Yeah.
People who aren't looking at it because there's not filters all over it and transitions and all this sort of stuff, I don't care. Then it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? And like, that's like even the funny thing of like, in 2020, I actually deleted my old Twitter, which had what should I say, 75 million followers on that
True.
one.
Verified and everything.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
75
yeah,
million,
she's
you
hot.
better
Blue
be.
check.
But like, you know, I deleted it because I was like, this just doesn't matter. Like, these thousands of followers on here, like, it doesn't matter. None of them are interacting with any of my stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And like, what do I really need to use Twitter for, right? I deleted it and just made a new one that was just like, I'm just doing it. I think you said it earlier. Like, I just kind of have it to keep up with stuff, right?
I
That's
just
it.
like say some shit on there sometimes and then I move on.
Yeah, and like, I think the ultimate example for me that we've kind of like joked about throughout the episode was a couple months ago when my Facebook and Instagram got hacked and deleted. There was a lot of people who were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And like, genuinely, like, my explanation for that is, was it annoying? Absolutely annoying. Why the fuck do I have to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
It's annoying. Then there's no way to get the stuff back. But literally from the moment it happened, like after it sort of like the shock settled off of like, what the hell? I pretty much instantly was like, this is fine. Like,
Yeah.
am I kind of annoyed that I had to rebuild things? Sure. But I also was like, what can I make out of this? What can I do with this? And like, I was contemplating deleting my Facebook anyway.
Yeah.
Because we don't really
Yeah.
use Facebook that
I just get
actively
mad
anymore.
when I get on Facebook.
I just don't care. And so like, I was already having that contemplation. And so for, you know, the universe doing it for me, you know, I literally was just like, this isn't a big deal, because what I noticed, if I'm going to add a lesson in here, what I noticed was my real life didn't change at all.
Yeah.
I still was having amazing conversations with people. I still was having cool meetings. Literally during the month where I didn't have social media, I was locking in sponsorship deals for What You Don't Hear.
Yeah.
Without me, and that wasn't me. I didn't have to post on Instagram and be like, I'm looking to do, like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that was gone.
You
and I
can
had
still
this
genuinely connect to people
Yeah, I had
without it
this
being the internet. Yeah.
direct example of like, no, business stuff still grows, personal stuff still grows. Like,
Yeah.
it all keeps going because real life is real and social media is just like an extension of that we can filter through things.
Yeah.
And so it's like, now I feel like that's where I sit with social, is I'm like, I like to share. I like to, you know, be authentic and vulnerable and connect with people and make cool stuff. Absolutely love that. But none of that is the reason I'm doing it in the first place.
Yeah. 100%.
Where do you feel like you guys land?
Well, I have a petty question first. That now that we're talking about like social media getting deleted.
Yes.
Have you guys ever gone to a random person's profile and it was like original at deleted with this many followers? Have you ever seen
Oh,
that
I've seen
before?
that.
I have
Yeah,
never
yeah.
seen that.
Really?
So it'll be like
Yeah.
somebody will have
Oh wait, like in their bio.
in their bio they'll put like
mhm.
like original
Yes.
profile deleted with
Backup
this many
account,
followers.
yeah.
And like those kinds of things. And I'm like, it makes me cringe a little bit because I'm like, if that's what you think people are coming to your profile for, and maybe you're an influencer and you make money off of it, and that's fantastic. Like if you can make money off of social media, like awesome.
Listen, I would love to be able to do that. Like, I would love to be able to be like, this is me doing my stuff
Yeah.
and I take your money. Like, I'm not dogging anyone for that. And when you say cringy too, like, we know that, because I said the same thing about hashtags, that it's also something that's a little bit, not hashtags, but putting that in the bio. I'm sure there's something about their like self-esteem
Yeah.
where they're like, I'm still
100%.
important. Like it's still this important person, and
I
this
was
little,
this.
this little profile now was this big profile.
Yeah.
Don't
With-
forget that.
Yeah.
I technically make money on Facebook. Like I get paid for the content. I don't pay attention to it. I'm just like, well, if I'm making it anyways, I might as well make money. But I'm not sitting there going, how can I capitalize on this thing? Like,
Right.
because I just don't care as much as I used to. And I feel like if I wanted to be the kind of person where I was like, all right, this is going to like, making money on Facebook, I feel like is like the last social media like platform that anybody wants to make money on, because nobody's really on there at
But
this
get
point
your bag, girl.
anymore. But I mean, I'm not sitting on Facebook like trying to like draw people in and be like, oh, okay, so like I had this many followers and I deleted my profile, and like I don't know, it's one of those things where like you can accept that loss, and then it's like almost like a blank slate. Like you can start over, like clean slate, blank canvas. Who do you want to be now? And they are still kind of choosing to be like, I don't know, glued to who they were, like
When that's-
in this like
They just lose a
fake-
little sense of self because they
box on the
lost a
internet.
profile, and it's really sad.
right.
Well, that's the interesting thing is like, so like in my new Instagram, like I just have like old account got deleted.
Yeah,
Mainly
because that way nobody thinks that you're
Yes.
an imposter.
or like didn't, or like that I unfollowed them, or that if they
The
find me,
official
like, did I
Ross
block
Tyson.
them or something? Yeah.
Right.
But like, you know, it's like I put that in there because I'm like, oh, I want people to know, like, as I'm following all these people again or whatever.
Yeah. You're
or
not
they're
following
finding
for the
me,
first time.
They're not like, what the fuck? Did he block me? Did he remove me? Why is he following
Yeah.
me for the first time? But I have no interest in old account got deleted at 9K, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing that I did at one point in time is like, literally during that whole transition of like caring less and less about social, I read an article one day that was like thousands of like profiles with like big amounts of followers, or like any big amounts of followers, usually have a bunch of bots. It's usually a bunch of
Oh,
robot
yeah.
profiles. Right?
I don't understand the numbers at all for anyone, like famous people, even when they have millions
Well-
and millions and millions.
And have you ever seen any of the articles that like they'll literally go in and test those millions of followers, and millions of them are fake profiles?
So then,
Wow.
so then it's the same like fake sense of security that I got in the beginning.
And it is, and like that's like the weird thing. Like when I started caring less about social, I read that article that was like, hey, if you have like, you know, I don't know, over 5K, over 10K followers or whatever. And at that time I had 13, and I was like, I want to go look. And I literally spent legit 2 hours one night looking through all of my followers
to see how many you
to
actually
see
knew.
how many were bot followers and
Oh.
removing them, because then they added the ability to
Yeah.
remove followers.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, I don't want this, because even if I am thinking about the algorithm, if I'm posting and it's showing it to 8,000 bot followers who
They're not
aren't
gonna like
interacting,
it.
then my stuff's not going to get seen by the real people. So I literally
Yeah.
spent 2 hours one night deleting all of them, and I took my profile from 13K to 9K.
Wow.
That is like how many weird
And
like,
probably
fake
didn't
profiles.
affect your like likes at all.
No, and yeah, of course, yeah, because algorithms and all that sort of stuff, it didn't really like change much. But like
Right.
learning to like disconnect from that like want and need of like, oh my God, do I need the attention? Do I need the blah, blah, blah? Because like clearly like that, and like we've been talking about like the influencer thing, like if people want to do that and they can do that, awesome. But like anytime I even think about like, oh, I could be doing that, the immediate thought hits me of like, do I want to set up a phone for anything I do? Actually, no, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, I want to focus on the things I want to actually do.
Yeah.
And even if somebody was like, you could get a lot more likes, or you could start making money if you just did this. I'm so like comfortable with what I do and do not want from social that I can confidently be like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
And that's not to say, like, if there are people that are influencers and they're doing well and making money off of it, again, that's fucking fantastic. Like, if you
Absolutely.
have it down and you've mastered the algorithm to a point where, like, you have a
That's a
platform.
full-time job. I mean, that's just a job
And
at
that's
that
the
point.
thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, will you say
exactly.
yes
Do
or
you
no
want to
to
do that do you want to have a second job? Do you want to have another full-time job? Because you have to commit if that's what you want.
Well, and we all know what can happen once you get enough followers where people are starting to recognize you. And would you like to talk a little bit about your experience with that?
Also, I like do not have a lot of followers. I don't know. Like I had more than the average, like the other people in my life, and I had like more attention, but I never had like a crazy amount of followers or anything. It just all of my posts warranted a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story time.
Story time. So in 2019, I think it was had to be in early February because it was before I got pregnant for the first time. I had a girl message me and tell me that she's been dating someone using my picture for the last year and a half. And she was like, I have lots of pictures of you. I'm trying to like decide which parts of this story need to not be like fully like on a podcast. I have lots of things that can prove that like this is someone that like knows you or whatever. So she sends me all of this stuff, and the picture she had, I'm like, this has to be like someone that's close to me. I like these pictures are not many places. Like, what's going on? I'm trying to figure out the timeline
you
of
didn't
this.
know who she was.
I had this girl. No, she lived in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she was just like, she said that she found out that her girlfriend was a catfish because they had been dating for a year and a half, and they shared like some type of online account, and the catfish's name was Rachel Lyons. Her real first name was Rachel, but her last name is different,
Okay.
and the email was her real name. So then the girlfriend, I'm gonna call her Emily. So Rachel's the catfish, Emily's the girlfriend. Emily was like, who are you? Obviously, different last name. I'm already getting weird vibes. We haven't met. It's been a year and a half. Like, what's going on? And she does tell her that she's a catfish or whatever. They, like, kind of break up. I don't know. It was weird. Anyways, she's messaging me, and she's sending me all of this proof. And she's like, this is who it is. It takes her a minute because I'm like, who is this? And I don't understand how it can be this girl because I don't know her. But she has, like, so much. She has Vines. Like, literally, this is 2019. She's sending me Vines. I cannot get access to those Vines. She's had these saved on her phone for the last 6 years.
So this might not have been the first time she was.
Emily had told me that this was not. She was not the first girlfriend that she had. There was, like, three others.
Through catfishing.
She had
as
catfished
you.
before.
Yes,
Okay,
as
yeah.
me. Because she had stuff from, okay, so I'm just going to say not who the catfish is, but like how she got my stuff. We've talked about this on another episode. I went to a career center, and we also talked about how like I'm thrown into a school with a whole bunch of other schools and a whole bunch of other like career paths. No, everyone has to make friends. No one knows each other. So she's just in another thing at the career center. I do not know her. I do not associate with her. We don't speak. She just knows me through the career center. And somehow
just,
she
like,
finds
seen
like my
you
social
around.
media. Yes. We just like maybe have mutual friends a little bit. So I'm like walking the halls with this girl every day. But anyway, not that I knew. She has, my Vine. She's got like pictures from Tumblr, like the depths of Tumblr. I don't know how anyone could ever, I don't know if I could find my Tumblr right now. Like how she was so committed that it's so scary. I don't know how she was on Zach's Tumblr. Like literally just
Wow.
using pictures of my siblings. She had a whole story about like Zach was my ex, but we were best friends now. We're still in each other's lives. My sister was my niece. She would post like my throwbacks that I would post with like my grandparents. Like had a story for every single one of my pictures. Sexting using like the most lewd photos she could find of me. Just like really intimate things. So this girl tells me all of this stuff and tells me who it is. And I don't know. It was a lot to take in. So the other part of this, I don't know. This story's so loaded. The girl like wouldn't stop messaging me. Emily wouldn't stop messaging me because she couldn't differentiate my face from her partner. Like she wanted to confide in me because she thought she knew me.
Okay, so wait. The catfish is not the one that messaged you.
No, the catfish was me,
Catfish
was
is
using me.
girlfriend.
No. I thought the girl that was pretending to be you
No.
had messaged you. Okay.
No, the
I was
girlfriend
like,
found
wait.
out, and the reason she found me, I guess her and her friends had like just tried to find me, like just reverse engine searching, just doing whatever. Rachel just was following me, just the whole time, just following me. I'm not private at this point. I didn't have a reason to be, but she is just following me. She's never liked anything. I've never seen her profile before. She's just in my followers following me. My Facebook, I don't know how she's getting stuff off my Facebook. She must have had someone, I don't know, because we weren't friends on Facebook. I don't know if my Facebook was private or public. It's private now if it wasn't. Everything. She just was just there. And then I think back to like high school and I remember she's not hard to forget what she looks like.
Okay.
So I can remember seeing her even though I didn't know her. And just knowing that she was just there and utilizing all of these things, having all of these little pieces. And the biggest, and catfish was a part of it, but she denied. She would not be a part of it,
Oh, wow.
which is so rude. Like, you get to use my whole life, but I don't get to capitalize on it. Thanks.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
But the thing that I wanted to talk about on there, or just in general, is that like I have to now have like private social media and be really picky and choosy of who follows me and what I post, and that changed a lot of what I posted, especially because I got pregnant right after. But I have to think about that all the time, and I have to think about like when I'm out in the world where she is, because she was just a lunch table over doing lots of questionable shit with my entire life. Or how many people, because she's from here, she's dated as me.
how
And then
many
I'm just
people-
walking around.
Yeah, and how many
Yeah.
people think that you're their girlfriend?
Yeah.
Just like
I
at
have
any
just
given
like
time.
been in love with my face, and like I do not know that they exist.
Now, did you ever reach out to this other person?
So she first did a whole like I'm gonna kill myself thing to Emily. Like, how dare you tell Brittany, like, no, I'm
Okay.
gonna kill myself. And then she tried to message me and apologize to me, but I already blocked her because obviously I'm like really freaked out. Feels very
Yeah.
serial killery to me. Like, everyone, I feel really bad for Emily, of course, but I'm like, how is no one looking at this as like, there's something that she's really way too attached to me. You could have picked anyone's face. You could have changed at any point in the last like 7 or 8 years you've been doing this, but you're still using my stuff and building off of mine. And even when I get into a long-term committed relationship, you work that into your story. That's weird.
Yeah.
Like, when do you, how, I don't know. But anyway, so I had to block Emily because she just kept wanting to like confide in me about the situation, and I'm not your friend. I have to process this myself.
Like, visually, she had a strange comfort with you already. Like,
Yeah,
feel like,
she just
yeah,
would
felt
not
like-
stop messaging me. I had to block her. Rachel tried to message me and apologize. I have the screenshot because she sent it to Emily as well. But I not interested in the apology. Like, of course, everyone wants to know the why. I don't necessarily need that because I think it's gross. I don't care.
Yeah.
Get help
Yeah.
because now I'm fucked up. Thanks for
Yeah.
that. But
It's literally so violating.
there's like so many details, and there would be like random one-off photos from my friends' Twitter. She would have videos. I didn't know you could get videos off of Instagram from my friends' Instagrams that I was in.
Wow.
Like anything, things that I had not seen in years. Yeah, it was just a lot. But they're married now. They're married.
What?
They are married now.
I don't remember that part of the story.
Well, a couple months ago, I like wanted to create because I really wanted to make my shit on private. Like, I really want to just like be able to do
Yeah.
that
right.
because of attention. Duh, that's why we're here. And I just wanted to. I just want to be in
You
control of
want the
whether people
freedom
can
of
see my
that.
shit or not.
100%.
And so I was like, well, let me make sure I have all of their profiles blocked. And I didn't have Emily's blocked, and she had a GoFundMe because their house flooded in Florida, and they were trying to get money to move back to Ohio.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, their house flooded, like they lived together because she had her name in the thing. And so I like went and creeped on Rachel's stuff, and yeah.
Well, I mean,
Wild.
it's wild that after everything, like obviously
How do you
maybe it
forgive
was.
her?
Well, I could probably not get past that. But like if you were very attached to a person's personality and you could
but like
get
what
past,
part of
like-
it? Because her job was fake, her family was
Yeah,
fake.
that's very true.
Her whatever
How-
was happening sexually was not her.
How and like how would you trust that that person was telling the truth about other things?
And let's say you can trust that they're going to let this go. How do you get past their obsession with everything that they just did? Like, how do you get them help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they did. I mean,
Clearly, I really hope that they did. I don't know. It's just this thing that it's just one of those things in life that I'll never have like real answers to.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
That I'll just like deal with.
See-
And I know this happens to people all the time, but it truly
I was gonna
fucked
say
me
it's,
up.
it's happened to me, but not to that degree.
Yeah, I've had people like I do care. Don't steal people's photos, but I've had like weird people like use my selfies and make those like accounts and
Yes.
Instagrams. And when like Kik was a thing, there was always an Instagram where like people had their Kik for my face. But this was just like so much
That was so in
deeper.
depth.
It was
So in
like
depth.
it was way more work than anyone would do for like their partner if I were their partner
Yeah.
versus like
I can't even tell you. I've had fake dating profiles where people like were like, "Hey, you're not on this app, are you?" And I was like, "I have no idea what that even is." And then they're like, "Oh, there's a fake profile of you." And then of course you have to like go on social media and be like, "Hey, if you see this, it's not me."
Report it.
But also, I know that there were other ones that I did not know about because I would literally have like random, like, it's happened at least 2 times, maybe 3 times, where I've had random women come forward and they're like, "Hi, like, I'm so-and-so's girlfriend." And I'm like, "That's nice." And they're like, "Yeah, so you need to stop talking to him." And I'm like, "I don't even know who that is." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, nice try, bitch," like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm really confused and I'm sorry because I actually have no idea who you are or who this person is. And they're like, "He said that he's been talking to you for blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I don't even, like, I literally have never even heard of this person's name, like, in my entire life.
There's a huge like delusion that comes with like social media, and a lot of people confuse their parasocial relationships for real relationships.
Yeah.
Definitely different than that. But you see it a lot where people, and we talked about it a little bit earlier on a different strand of this, but like how many friends we've made, but a lot of the times we think we're friends with people that we do not know. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, I actually have a great story about this. I had, this was like recent actually. I had a girl that I was friends with on, and still am friends with on Facebook. And there was a profile of her on Instagram. And this Instagram profile followed me like years ago. And I'm pretty sure I followed back thinking like, oh, maybe her Instagram got deleted, whatever. But it was so long ago, and it was somebody that I like hardly interacted with like enough to like
question
to
it. You're
notice
just like, whatever.
it.
Here's
Yeah,
my
I was just
Instagram.
like, oh, okay, whatever. And so recently, I got a message from her, and it was like, not even a lewd. It was literally like just something that she's probably posted on her own Instagram or her own like story or something, where it was like a little spicy, but like nothing that was like crazy, but just like this person, like, and they would like randomly respond to my stories with like heart eyes, but like girls do that, you know, like we
Yep.
just like gas each other up. I thought nothing of it. And so randomly, this girl was messaging me, sending me these photos like I love like I love butts or something, you know, something whatever the fuck.
Nice.
Yeah, I
something
love
where I'm
butts.
like, you know, where it was just something where it like was
It's a little
her
body.
her sending something, and like almost like they were trying to get me to send something back, and I was like, haha, okay. And then she was like, oh, you don't want to send something, like said something like that, and then sent another one. And I was like, I have been following this person and they've been following me for literal years.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So I literally like, I was thinking that she got hacked, because this was like around the time that you got
Yeah,
hacked. And
okay.
I was like, okay, I don't want to even message her on Facebook, because if it's the same person
Yeah.
that hacked her, then technically they could just be like, oh no, yeah, that's me or something. And so I texted like a mutual friend and I was like, hey, did so-and-so like get hacked? And she was like, I don't think so. And I was like, okay, this profile that I followed for years just like randomly started like sending me like creepy stuff, and I'm like 99% sure it's not her, but like I wanted to send her something to let her know, and I don't have, like, I didn't know if her Facebook got, like, I don't know what's going on. And so finally she sent the girl a message, and she did message me eventually on Facebook to be like, hey, yeah, no, that's not me, like, if you can report that, that'd be great. And I was like, oh yeah, like 100% girl. I just wanted to like, you know, put it out there, because I had no idea, because this has been literally going on for years.
Right.
And this profile has literally existed for years. And it's like one of those things where it's just like their name with like a million extra of one letter. So you never know, like it could be one less letter
That's the thing.
than their actual
Sometimes like
profile.
these
Yeah.
follows, I mean, 90% of the time, they're not real people. Even when
Yeah.
they are or once were, they're not anymore. They're just dead profiles, little cemetery profiles.
Right.
Yep, literally.
But it's just wild to me, like how far people will go, like for years, like to be like, oh, I'm being this person so that I can get what I want from other people without having to be myself.
And like, I do empathize with not loving yourself.
Oh, 100%. But like, deal with that in a healthy
Yeah,
way.
queen, please. Also, for everyone listening to the podcast, I know that story was like just jimble jambled. I have like screenshots that I posted years ago of the story in chronological order with way more details. And if people want it, we can post it on the story at the time of this
Ooh.
episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That
we
way
can do
kind of
We can
people
do that.
can actually follow the story and know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I feel like also getting your story told about like what it's like to be the person on the other end of a catfish. Like because on the show Catfish,
They just
you
show the
hear-
fucking photo.
Yeah, well, and they show a lot about like the person that's getting their heart broken by somebody pretending to be somebody else, but they don't actually talk about how it affects the person who is like in the photos because it's very violating to
It's
feel
super
like,
violating.
oh, like somebody is out there pretending to be me,
Mm-hmm.
hurting people in the process, and then also like just like like you said, how deep she dove into your socials
Yeah,
and
it
your
would not
life.
be a story if it was like, just my selfies.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
That
happening
happens.
every day.
That happens to people all the time. And like I said, it's happened to me as well.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I feel like is like necessarily noteworthy because again, like
It's a pretty universal
It's-
thing for women.
yeah, it's something that happens a lot. And a lot of times it's men trying to get stuff from other women. But I do think that like the extreme side of it that like, yeah, nobody really gets into is the side of like, hey, like I now am like concerned for my safety.
Yeah. And when I told like people this, people would just be like, wow, that's a crazy story. And I do love the story. Don't get me wrong. If I'm going to take something from the trauma that's given me, like it's a fun party story, but like very seldomly do people have that reaction. Like, what the fuck? They're like, what the fuck? Ha ha ha. And not what the fuck, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because genuinely it was so much.
But what's lucky is that you at least know who the person was that did it.
Yeah, that would have really sucked. if I
Because
didn't.
imagine just like, I can't even imagine walking through life and being like, could it be this person? Could it be this person? Are there people on my social, like I had an ex that was like kind of a psychopath and he had mutual friends with me that would send him things like, I don't know, he literally like had access to my profile somehow. And so like he would make a post and it would be like pictures of us from like the time we were in like the 7th grade and like creepy stuff about like, and this was like, 10 years after we had broken up and no, this is like a whole thing. I never got into this. I should have done this during my high school episode. I had an ex that I didn't realize when we first met. He somehow just had my number. First of all, that should have been first red flag. He made friends with the guy that lived across the street with me so that he could watch me at the bus stop. He carved my name into his
what
arm
was
with
the
a
age
knife.
difference?
What?
No, he was a year older than me. We went to like middle school
Okay.
together. Carved my name into his arm with a knife.
What?
He said he was going to pour pen ink into it and make it like a tattoo. He like and our relationship, obviously he creeped me out. Our relationship only lasted like a couple of months, but like he would walk me to all of my classes. Like he wouldn't let anybody else like near me, basically. Yeah, it was like really messed up. So he would post for years and years later photos of us in like the 7th grade and like this really long crazy like some kind of description to these things of like, oh, I miss her and this was the best time of my life and like weird just like cryptic shit.
What year did this happen? And we said it happened for years, but what was the
Happened
last
for
year?
years. It may have happened. I'm trying to remember if there was ever a time where it happened where I was with Nick. It may have, because it definitely happened with the person I was with before Nick, to a point where I literally finally was like, I'm going to just go get a restraining order. And because it was all on the internet and social media, they refused to give me one.
Isn't that so insane? Like, oh, I'm sorry, this is equally as dangerous.
Yeah, because it was like we still lived, I mean, now I live far away, but like we lived within the same city for long enough that like I worked at a Hot Topic and he knew that I worked at that Hot Topic and he would come in there when I was by myself and I couldn't go into the back room and be like, oh, can you get jewelry out of it? Like, this is the person I wanted like to be so far away from at any given time. And I like could not, because I was like, I am obligated by my like occupation to be standing here right
No.
now. Otherwise people could just shoplift. So it was like things like that. And I took it to like a judge and they basically were like, so what, he's reminiscing about old times on social media? Doesn't seem like a,
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not even shocked.
No, I'm not even a
shocked.
little
No,
bit.
I'm
It
not
was like
shocked.
an old white man
Of course.
that was probably just grumpy that
He's
I
like,
made
"Why-
him be
why'd you
there.
being a little nicer to him? Ever think
But
about
then-
And he's
that?"
like, you ever think he just loves you a little bit? Ever think about that?
Yeah, and so quite literally, after that happened, they were like, so we can either, like, because I could tell that it wasn't going to go anywhere. He's like, so either we can take this to court, or like, and I have to let him know that you're trying to file this, or we can just drop it where it's at. And I was like, fine, we're just going to drop it. I don't even want to get any further into it if you're telling me that there's no chance it's going to happen anyways. So I eventually like dropped the whole thing, but then in order to file for this thing, I had to know his address. So I had to do a little creeping. There was a girl that he had dated for a while and they broke up. And I tried to send her a message thinking like, okay, girl power, you know. And I just wanted to be like, hey, I'm really sorry to bother you. I'm sure you know who I am. But, you know, this guy that we both dated, like, will not leave me alone. And I'm trying to do something about it. So if I could get his address from you, if you know where he's staying, like, I would really appreciate it, because I just really would like to, like, not have this be a part of my life anymore. And she told him.
Oh, what a beep.
So,
I won't make you put it in there, Ross.
well, and I think it was probably because I think I even mentioned, like, he would send me messages even when they were together. And I was like, that's violating the sanctity of their relationship as well. So I was kind of like, this has been going on for years, including during your relationship.
Yeah, but that also, she put you in more danger.
Yeah, but regardless, like, it happened, and she told him, and then he made a post. And to be, like, frank, he was on a lot of drugs, probably. But he made this post about, like, the reason that she couldn't get a restraining order is because every time we get in front of a judge, he knows that she's just going to end up, like, coming back to my hotel room and, like, having sex with me anyways. Like, quite literally, like, making things up, like, out of thin air.
No.
Yeah.
So he needs so much
Dude.
help.
I mean, obviously from, like, the get-go, you can tell he obviously needs
Right.
help. But, like, he literally would fabricate these stories to a point where I was like, I'm in danger. And nobody would fucking do anything about it because it was on social
Yep.
media. And
Yeah.
so there were many cries for help, specifically on social media from me, to be like, hey, if something happens to me, make sure that you check with this random fucking guy that's been creepy towards me my entire life. It has been many years. I've blocked him on everything. Every time I make a new profile on anything, I pretty much make sure that he's blocked. I think he's probably gotten the hint at this point that it's, like, not okay
Right.
because I'm married. But, like, when I met Nick, and I'm pretty sure there was an instance where he did something. I'm like literally, like, I don't know if you can tell that I'm physically, like,
Yeah.
right now, like, tensed up. When I blocked him on everything, he messaged me from, like, his mom's Facebook.
Yeah.
He had other friends reach out to me. Like, it was
There's no one
so
in his
messed
life
up.
that's like keeping him accountable.
no.
That's what in those sort of stories, because it happens so much, and there's like been people that I've been close to that have those exact same things happen to them, and I'm just like, dude, like, how is there not one person who's, and not to like try and make it some like righteous, like, oh, they all need help, because like, if you're fucking weird, you're fucking weird.
Well, and I used
But,
to,
like-
you know that I'm like that, though, that I try to see the best in everybody.
Right.
And so for many years, I thought maybe I could help this person
And
by, like,
yeah,
being his
like-
friend and stuff. Not only because I was fucking terrified of him and I couldn't get away from him,
Right.
but also I was like, if I could just maybe understand him, then maybe I could understand why. But, like, it was beyond.
And see, it's like
that.
all of those types of stories, like where my head does go is I'm like, why is that person like that?
Yeah.
Like, I just, and,
I mean, I could tell you, I could break it all down, but this
Right,
this
yeah,
is already,
that's
we've gotten very in
That
depth
is
into
for
this story that,
another
like, it
episode.
was taking place on social media, so it relates to that.
of course, yeah.
But, like, to the point where literally, like, the sanctity of, like, your physical fucking, like, safety can be violated through something so
Yes.
unphysical.
And I don't know how the world hasn't caught up to that yet. Like, social
Yeah.
media is here. It's not going anywhere. Everybody lives on it. Everything exists on it.
And
Like,
if-
how are we not
Well, and if
catching
there
up
are
to, like...
threats in that way happening on social, like, granted, this was like years and years and years ago that I finally like went to a judge about it. But if this kind of thing is happening on, like, if you're gonna tell me obsession doesn't lead to violence, like John Lennon, like
It's
somebody was
almost
so
every
obsessed
other
with him they
time.
like
Right.
killed him. Like,
It happens-
and
yeah.
I'm like, are you gonna tell me that like my safety is not at stake when I can literally tell you more about this person Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And-
not even negotiable that your safety was at
No.
stake.
No, and it's like the only like one of the things about moving to Columbus that made me feel like I really wanted to do it was getting away from this person. And I was actually very relieved when my parents moved out of our childhood home because he knew where I lived, obviously. And I was like, he no longer, ever since they moved out of there, like he can't do anything to me or my family at this point.
Yeah.
As
Right,
far
yeah.
as I know, he doesn't know where I am or how to get a hold of me. And I've tried, like, I've had my profiles private, I've had them public. At this point, like, I think hopefully it's over. So there's that. But yeah, at one point in time, I was like quite literally like afraid.
Yeah, you had a stalker,
Yeah.
that's
an internet
dude.
stalker that knows you in real life. That's much scarier than someone that.
I'm like physically like
Yeah.
tense. I'm sorry.
are. No, you're good. I just don't understand how, like, and this is a whole other podcast episode, but like, I don't get. I know things can happen to people that break them, but like,
He was
whenever
broken from the beginning. I can tell you that.
And I just don't. I just like my brain can't comprehend that. You know what I mean? Because like I've heard plenty of stories like this from other people that and like I'm always just like, how?
There have been things like I know why it's happening,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not in charge of fixing it.
yeah, no, that's
Yeah, no.
Regardless.
unfortunately
of any of
like
it.
it's your problem because he's made it your problem, but it's
Right.
not your problem or your
Right, right.
responsibility.
Well, and I'm thankful to like be done with that part of my life now, where now I can feel like okay, like I can have public profiles and
Right.
hopefully like if anything like it like I remember making a YouTube video or a YouTube profile or whatever, and I remember him commenting something, and I didn't even read it. I just deleted it and blocked him from making future stuff. At this point, like it's just come to that point where I'm like, if something happens, I can just squash it.
And the nice thing, Instagram now lets you, I think, if you block someone, it blocks them from all of your profiles.
And it can also block any future profiles that they create
Yes,
as
yes,
well.
yes.
Although
That
it
is
doesn't really
important.
help when I'm getting tagged in all of these, get 5 million followers for $35. I get tagged in those daily, and I'm
See,
like, block any future things,
Yeah,
and
what's
it doesn't
interesting,
work.
I get tagged in some of those sometimes, but the fuck bots are after me.
Oh, yeah, they're
The fuck bots are coming for you,
They're
Ross.
literally, and dude, and it's like block any other profiles they make, and then like 6 more show up the next
the
day. I'm
last-
like, the army of sex
yeah.
bots.
In the
are
last
like,
6 months, it's always been, come look at my pussies come.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm
Point-
getting the fake sugar daddies. I'm not even getting the
Oh,
cool
I've gotten
stuff.
a couple of
oh
those
my God.
too.
Oh, I haven't.
Have you ever considered a sugar mama sitting right now in my, it's all bots, but
I've
Yeah.
gotten one of the, most of mine are like, my asshole juices are ready for you sort of thing. Like,
And it's always,
yeah.
you can tell it's broken English. And I'm like, if you're trying to be convincing, like,
they sent the white girl.
run it through Google. Yeah.
I just also don't like, because they also would just like my stories or something like that, and I'm like, what? How is this your like? Also, I want to know who is being tricked by that.
Many people.
Who
Old
is,
people,
like,
probably.
like a horny old guy?
No,
is
let me
just
tell
like-
you. Let me tell you about my parents posting things that are the equivalent to like chain letters nowadays
Oh,
on
yeah,
Facebook, where they're like,
yeah.
if I post this on Facebook, it means that Facebook can't use my information
Yes.
for their.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like,
you posted this status, so you are safe from them deleting every
That's
account
so
on
good.
this.
and that's
You know what? I
had
did
to like.
that. Mine still got deleted.
I had
that was
to,
your last status, I remember.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was. I had to explain that to my mom recently because she shared it, and it literally came up as like, because I was scrolling and it just said like Janet Stenger, and then it was like blocked content or something, and I was like, what? And then I clicked on it, and it was one of those things.
Yeah, they
and
were
it
like,
should,
Leah, you're not
show-
going to want to see this. Just scroll on
Yeah,
past.
keep going, please.
And I didn't, but it was like, show why this is blocked. And so I made a point to comment on it and be like, hey, just so you know, if you use Facebook at all, you're already automatically agreeing to their privacy thing, and like this doesn't do.
And also,
anything.
what do they want from you? Like, you know,
I'm like,
what are
you're-
they-
That's how I feel. If I have an FBI agent, please,
Dude,
that's
hey, yeah,
fine.
if I
have
If you
one,
want
like,
to connect,
give
I'll
me
take
some
connect.
advice
I will take my
sometime,
phone in the
bro.
shower so I can keep track of what time it is, and sometimes I will listen to music with my like mute or my waterproof like speaker.
Yeah, same.
and so I take my phone in the shower, and Nick's like, "Oh, you just like have that in there, like you're like
FBI
camera or whatever."
agent just
I'm
watching
like-
your titties?
I'm like, listen, if there's somebody out there watching it, they've already seen. They
They've
have
seen it
access to
all.
all of my
That's cool.
nudes. They have
My FBI
access to
agents know
everything
what
I've
I'm
ever
Googling.
done.
My
done.
search
Like-
history, like, trust me, my FBI agent,
We're real close.
He is my best friend.
Yeah, we're hanging
We
out.
he or
just don't
she
know.
or they.
They're probably they're into what I'm into. It's
They're
cool.
for sure. They're on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Or really bored by me, one or two. They're like, fucking nothing. Look what this guy's
They
doing.
just check once a day. They're like, all she does is play with her kids and complain that she's
She's
tired.
good,
She's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
No
they're like,
9/11
she's
ties.
Googling those shoes again that she's not going to buy.
Okay, let's wrap this one up. Or I think
Yes.
this one could
Fine.
be into like
could
multi-hour.
go
Yeah, we
territory.
could do this forever.
Yeah. So how do we? I mean, where do we want to leave this one? Because we did sort of talk about earlier of like where we're kind of at now with our social media. Like, and I know like Brittany, like because of that story and all all that sort of stuff, like you do, like you have a private profile and all that sort of stuff.
She's not ignoring you guys if you've sent her friend requests. She's just
I'm scared.
Yeah, if you happen to, hit
If
her
you
up from
do
this
follow
show.
me because
Which
we
is
tell you to every
justified.
single episode.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
is
am.
probably something
Yeah,
we should
I am. I'm gonna finagle my Instagram, and then I probably will make it public.
yeah. So justified completely, but
Yeah,
you can
totally.
get honestly, Same Pod is 100% public. If you have anything you want to say to any of us, you can reach us
Yeah,
there.
that's the best place. That's the best place to find. You can find all of us. Send a message like, "Hey, this is for Leah," and if Leah doesn't see it first, one of us will get it to her.
That's
a little-
right.
nice
But
little
I will
chain
read it, but yeah.
there.
Yeah,
I
it's not
will
going to
see
be.
it. Yeah,
it won't be a
yeah.
private conversation between the two of us.
It's
but
like some of that.
So fuck
butts
bots
are cool stuff.
Stay away from Leah. Stay away from Ross.
Please, fuck bots, leave me alone. Please.
and sugar daddies,
Yeah,
if you're
sugar daddies,
real,
sugar
I
mamas.
will accept your money.
Me too.
First, just send the
for-
money.
Yeah, for doing probably nothing.
Yeah.
Like, do you-
yeah, that's fair.
If you just want to give me money, I'll accept it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's totally fair.
I will say for my social media, I am busy, so I don't post as much. Like, I'm just busy, and I don't want to be like, I'm busy living life. No, I'm just like, don't have my phone. And there's a lot of cute moments that I miss that I really, really wish were captured. That I know that if I had the same like stamina for social media that I had before, I'd have cooler memories. But I also have a lot of memories banked like in my brain that I didn't
Yeah.
have my phone.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with social now. Is I'm like I already kind of said it earlier, but like yes, I'm gonna share the cool things that I make. I want to share things that I want people to see, even if it's a cool picture of me that I think I look rad in. Yes, I'm gonna use it that way. I'm gonna tell stories. I'm gonna do all this stuff. But more than anything, if all social media went away tomorrow, I would be like, yep, and my life continues. Like, I'm fully comfortable and confident in like who I am as a human being, and I know that social media is an extension of that, not solely where it exists.
Honestly, my only connection to social media, really, I feel bad. I'm terrible at responding to comments. Like, if you were to go through my thing, I don't respond. I am surprised that I have friends that do gas me up because I don't ever respond. I get really overwhelmed. I use social media to make sure I don't disconnect from like my goals, because a lot of my goals are like in the film industry and stuff like that, as you know. So I'm afraid of the disconnect of not having it, but all my shit could get deleted today and I would be totally fine.
Yeah, it's not real life. Not real life.
It's not.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Where are you at with the Leo?
I would say I'm out there like sharing my hair stuff. I think is the most important thing that I do right now, and even that I'm pretty bad at. I have like a jillion photos on my phone of hair that like
I thought you were talking about doing hair, and I was like, you'll see it on the camera. I was like,
Wait a second.
no, go ahead.
No, yeah, I have a whole separate account that's the.gothwife if you'd like to see lots of photos and videos of hair. For like work, I feel like I try to keep up with it because I feel like it's kind of necessary in order to market myself. Besides that, like on my personal account, I don't post that often. And when I do post, I'm more so, posting for me and just to
And
put
it's fun.
stuff out
I don't
there.
want to like negate that social media is fun.
Oh, yeah.
And it's how
Oh,
we
yeah,
make
for
so
sure.
many connections. There are so many pros to the cons.
Shout out to my girlfriends on like, social media that like we gas each other up even though we never
Yeah.
see each other in real life. I
Like
love you guys
if you're listening
so
to this
much.
podcast and we've never met, I'll kiss you.
Whoa. You
I
hear
will
that?
kiss you. You get one ticket to one free Britney kiss if you're a girl.
Yeah, that's
If
that
you're a
makes
girl,
sense.
easy.
Yeah, and if you're a girl, I
He
will
does
also
it.
kiss you.
Ross will also kiss you.
I'll also kiss you.
Leah?
Unless you're a bot.
Unless you're a sex bot, then please leave me alone.
yeah. I was like, wait.
Please leave me alone. See, this has now been captured on the internet, and in a few years, when AI takes everything over, they're gonna play this clip, and they're like, "So what can you tell me about this?" And I'm like, "Please, sex bots, don't kill me.
Please.
What do you think now?" And then drill into my butthole.
All right, Ross. Well,
No
where,
lobotomy, just straight into the butthole.
Yeah.
where can the sex bots find you?
Oh God. Well, if you really want to track me down, at Ross Tyson, that's where it's at.
And Brittany, where can the sugar daddies on YouTube?
Where can they sit in the DM?
Sit in the
just
DM, not being able to
dry.
follow,
Just
yes.
yes. HAIBRITTANI. Hi, Brittany.
And Leah, you want any sex bots, sugar daddies, and or
Send them all
cool
to
people
me. It
coming
is
your way?
All of it.
It's at La Petite Goth.
Boom. And this show, most importantly, like we already said, at Honestly Same Pod, for humans, not for sex bots.
Please
Or
and thank you.
For sex bots, for future reference, when the robot overlords were listening to
We
this.
love you.
Yeah, if sex bots are the
Absolutely
future,
love
then
you.
we love you.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever
love
whatever is.
Yep. All
you need to
that
be
I said was a lie.
You'll never take me alive.
She said that, not me.
Yep.
Hit that button.